guys, welcome back to another episode of Casa de Anime. Like and subscribe to Casa de Anime for more content.
Oh, wow. That was a great episode too.
Episode 2, Beastars. Wow. Was not expecting all that.
How did we start out? Oh yeah, he was in a prison, it seemed, in his mind almost, no? Mm-hmm. And he said, what did he say? I don't want to wake up, but I don't.
I want to be a shell. I don't want to go to sleep, and I don't want to wake up. I just want to be empty.
Interesting. I don't want to go to sleep, and I don't want to wake up. Surrounded in a prison of blood.
And then he just describes how he feels holding that little helpless bunny in his arms.
Mm-hmm. I think when he talks about being asleep and waking up, is it waking up to his instincts, to the natural world around them, not the fact that they're carnivores in a world surrounded by herbivores? And there's something. Well, they mention eating herbivore is taboo. So naturally, they don't even really talk about it in society. And we know in real life society, when things are kind of not talked about, that can grow. They gain traction, yeah. And that can grow into a desire to do it because it's not talked about. It's seen as the ultimate evil, dude.
It's evil. The ultimate evil because they keep referring to that chain of no one's allowed to show their fangs, mm-hmm. or even their meals. Even in that one scene when they were showing their meals and describing what carnivores eat, it's all like a soy diet and it's like a vegetable.
From what it seems like to me is that really, it seems like the rules in society are meant to benefit herbivores and basically restrict, if not hold down, carnivores to the fact where they lose their sense of who they are.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it seems like to me.
Sorry?
No, that's what it just seems like to me. It seems like the whole premise is for carnivores to basically lose their sense of being a carnivore. That's what they want. That's the main purpose of it. They don't want carnivores to be carnivore. They want all of them to act like herbivores and be herbivores. It's like they want them to conform. And it was weird because the whole time I was thinking the deer guy was kind of an asshole or something. But then you actually see that he's doing all this because he feels pressured to show that there can be unity, even through all the struggles of what's happening right now. And that's why he feels pressure even more, because he knows he's injured, but he knows one of the people died, so that's why he's, he feels like the need to do even more. So,
And we finally get into the show, Beastars. He feels
and now we know that Beastars are heroes who have beaten the norm, whether they're carnivores or herbivores, and they've basically been able to show that they're not, they don't discriminate. I guess that's the ultimate Beastar, someone who doesn't discriminate.
It seems the Beastars, the connecting piece into the world and how they are able to live peacefully almost.
And it seems like the Beastars might have started the whole movement in the first place. The first order of the Beastars might have been what got the carnivores to kind of form into place and to conform to the herbivore standards. Because you have to think, who told the carnivores to start acting and being a part of the herbivores community?
Yeah. And I want to go back to what you said with, it seems like society is made to almost benefit and cater to herbivores, which is very interesting. And he talks about in the scene when they flash back to him almost eating the rabbit, his inner self, he's talking to him and he says, you've suppressed this for 17 years. So are all the carnivores walking around suppressed? Is the next question I want to get into.
Mm-hmm. I guess it's the natural instinct of being suppressed from what they are naturally supposed to be doing, what they're supposed to naturally hunt smaller animals, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. impression.
And I was gonna go into the final theme. I'm starting to understand is I think sex isn't a very like forsaken thing to do. You know, how animals tend to have sex, you know, all the time. It's just a part of mating. But like I think that's what they're showing in this is that you know, in the final scene where the bunny, I guess, assumes that the wolf.
This guy's thinking so hard in his head. He's like, oh, I just want to talk to her a little bit longer. And she just straight up assumes. She's like, oh, okay. Yeah. I know what you want.
And then that's her situation. Now we know what she's experienced clearly is some kind of, you know, trauma.
Oh, yeah, because we were wondering why everyone was like acting towards her in the first episode. Like they were all like looking down on her basically. And we didn't know why. We just thought because she was just a small, helpless rabbit.
Yeah.
But now we're looking at Steve. It's for other reasons. It's for.
He's ambiguous.
Yeah, like a little promiscuous too. How she talked about in the first episode, hooking up with the other rabbit's boyfriend. So I'm curious on her story.
Yeah, I like where it's going, and I like the themes and stuff. Now we're starting to get the whole picture of what everything's happening.
Yeah, the full picture.
I love the intro. I thought the intro was great.
Oh,
it's a dip. It was like a puppet kind of like, it would look like puppets, but it also looked like claymation kind of style too.
Yeah, I really like that whole. It reminded me of the, you know, the Christmas stories.
Yeah.
Have those like puppet little animations for like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and stuff like that.
Yeah, like exactly, perfect. And like even like the Halloween ones too. I forget what they.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was really interesting. Yeah. But in all, I like the themes. I like everything that's going on. It's very realistic. It's very realistic. That's stuff that goes on in high school. People looking down on people being promiscuous. You know, people having ulterior motives. You know, people being stressed out, feeling like they have to put on even more of a show. You know, they don't want to let down people. There's a lot of high school themes, right?
It's all human things. Like it's teenager high schoolers just living their life and trying to figure out who they are.
And it's hitting it in all different ways and different perspectives. Kind of open up your mind, kind of see, you know.
We see them struggle with their societal taboos, just like how we do here. Another thing I want to go back to too, I found kind of interesting was the whole play rehearsal. And he talks about Louis in his script. He talks about how the other female character who was in the play, she defied fate, and now everyone's coming after her to kill her. And it's interesting they talk about fate and how these carnivores are walking around defying their very own nature in this entire show. And I find that's extremely ironic how they're all walking around defying their very own nature. But like you said, the herbivores, they don't seem to be fighting much internally.
It seems to be more of like a fight between them internally, whether or not they should basically get along with carnivores. I think that's really the herbivores fight. And the carnivores fight is society. I think the carnivores are literally fighting against society.
How they're viewed in society too.
Yeah, how they're viewed. Yeah,
they look at them as minorities, basically.
Yeah.
We could.
And they look at them as a threat. That's the most important thing, as a threat, a ticking time bomb in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go down the list of what we thought about the episode, Kenny? In terms of
animation-wise, we already know this. We don't even need to go.
It hasn't changed. Yep.
Animation, we're just gonna say throughout the whole series, it's beautiful. I'm not gonna complain about it.
I will not.
Yeah, it's just.
And even the intro even might have raised that to 11 out of 10. I've never seen anything. That was.
I'll give the intro I've never seen 5 out of 10. Also.
Yeah, because that intro was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And you can let down the list. Sorry.
Plot and story so far. We're starting to learn a little bit more of the plot, what's going on. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 right now. I'm still trying to understand what's going on. What's the main focus? Is the main focus on what the plot, what's it called, the play they're putting up, or is it just society itself and him containing himself from not eating someone?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that they mentioned the Beastars, we're getting more of a feel for the main focus in how they want to run society, and they need that one kind of head figure to keep everything balanced and in order. So we're gonna get more into that.
And in the Beastars, if you notice when you saw the panel, I saw a crocodile in there. So the Beastars isn't restricted just to herbivores. It's there's carnivores in the Beastars too. So I really want to see how the carnivores are in the Beastars. How did they basically get over their instincts, or what made them change, or
All right, so I have questions for you guys. How does the show make you feel?
I feel, and me personally, I love this whole persona, the human persona, but then giving animals, it gives life to these animals, and where they're operating on a day-to-day basis as we would as humans. So we can relate to that on a structural and like an emotional level. But then at the same time, now divided up, we have categories: herbivores and carnivores. And herbivores are essentially seen as, what Aaron said, ticking time bombs. And so it feels very weird when they're all operating, when they're all trying to interact with each other. We get their preconceived notions, we get their biases, and it makes you uncomfortable almost, how they all treat each other, or how herbivores treat carnivores and carnivores treat herbivores. Now, then again, sometimes they seem to have no problem with each other, but when these problems arise, it makes you very uncomfortable. And then again, that's because the show makes these problems taboo. So they're not going to want to talk about these problems in the first place. So these conflicts just continue to build and build, and I really like that about the show. For the suspense, I guess.
It is definitely the suspense that grabs you, because like it's an attention grabber, I feel like, because it grabs your attention. You're like, wow, am I living in a society just like this? It's a man eat man world out there.
Yep. Wolf eat sheep world.
Wolf eat sheep world. Overall, I give this episode,
I would give it a 9.
I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
The beginning scene and the ending scene were really important for me.
They do know how to grab you in the beginning and end, I will say.
The middle was a little bit it was important, but I would say you see for me 9 out of 10, because I saw the struggles. Now I'm seeing the struggles of everyone. The deer is fighting the struggles of being put in a class society, or classism, where he's rich, so he's trying to basically prove to everyone that he deserves to be there. Where the bunny is also fighting, promiscuousness or something like that. She's basically fighting against everyone, basically thinking she's just, down low.
Animal.
And then the wolf is fighting just the idea that he's a threat, but he's also fighting in his head the idea that he is a threat. He knows he's a threat. I think that's what he's fighting against, because he hasn't basically come to terms with him being a wolf. That's why he wants to either be asleep he wants to be asleep and not even awake. Yeah,
it's all these like high school students just fighting their inner demons, basically.
Yep. And they really go out of the way to show that he's struggling internally, because when he's thinking in his head and those thought processes, they're still showing time is passing in the real world. Like, she was just staring at him as she asked him, what did you want to eat, or what do you want to do?
Oh yeah, she's like, I want to pay you back. What do you want to do? Like, I can get you something to eat. What's your favorite food? And
they show a split screen. He's still thinking, and she's just looking.
This guy's doing this, and she's asking him, "Hey, what do you want to eat?" And this guy's like, "Oh God, I just want to talk to you." Oh God, and she's like, and then you hear him say, "He's like, I just don't know." And then she's like, "Oh, I think I know what you want." And then she just starts stripping down.
What did you say?
She just starts stripping down as soon as he doesn't even say a word, and she just automatically assumes that he wants something else.
Yeah, she's very familiar with these situations, assuming what he wants. That was extreme confidence. I don't know what that was. But another thing I wanted to go back to was, why was Legoshi trying to lose the fight against the fox?
I feel like he was he knew he could win it easily, and he didn't want to show his instincts come out that fast because you could see on the sides they were calculating the height, weight, and like the pressure of his jaw.
Yeah, and that's why the deer even said, "You're even more of a wolf than I thought," because he was trying to basically hide how strong he was. Because he knows for a fact, he knows the deer knew if he's hiding how strong he is, then that means he's way stronger than you would assume he is. If he's trying to figure out a way to lose, he's not even afraid of him. That was the biggest thing. The other dude was afraid of him. He's literally not afraid of him, and that's how much of a wolf he is. He's not afraid of another carnivore. He's more interested in losing the fight. That means he's not even afraid of injury. Like, that's a huge thing for somebody not to be afraid of somebody.
I feel like that goes back to your whole, the world is kind of tailored towards herbivores. And now we see a smaller carnivore versus a bigger carnivore. And the bigger carnivore is still trying to tailor the fight and the situation towards the smaller carnivore. So
basically,
even things from even internal carnivores, they're struggling to not show their dominance as the bigger alpha wolf, pun intended, alpha male. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's basically on the dominance because like the lower carnivore is like, let me just bend over so I can chew on your neck.
And he was gonna go along.
And also you even pointed that out, Keith. I would say even you can go back to the carnivore avoiding stepping on the small squirrel.
Yeah.
When it wasn't his fault in the first place, she should have been going the other way. But he went out of his way to not hurt her.
They said
that's what they said, to go the other way. But
yeah, they have a guidance of where they're supposed to be walking. They're supposed to be walking along the wall.
Yeah,
and that lets you know herbivores have control over societies because they don't have to.
She stepped out of her boundaries.
Yeah.
And yet he was still scared to pass her, to cross her path. Or mistakenly do something that might harm her. So that just goes to show they're really trying. Carnivores in this world seem like they're really trying to accommodate themselves to a herbivore world, and we'll see how long this suppression can continue for. That's what people like to hear future predictions.
Just off the bat, I guess the intro kind of gave it away a little bit. I feel like he's going to he's building a relationship towards this bunny. But he's also suppressing those feelings because of his natural instincts of trying to eat her.
And he just wanted to talk to her, really, and that's interesting. She makes him feel some type of way, comfortable, but also uncomfortable because he knows what he did to her. But yet he still wanted to stay and talk to her. So I'm curious to see where this.
Yeah, what's up with that? She's like, I think oh, you see my arm? Oh yeah, I think I hurt myself while I was sleeping or something. Is she lying about that? Does she know like that he hurt her? Like,
does she really not remember? There's a lot of things to find out.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think it's like an extreme fear. I mean, if something was hovering over you about to eat you, you probably wouldn't be thinking of anything. You'd be fucking in shock until you let go and then just run because I don't even know if she looked back.
Yeah, so it could be a trauma thing where she subconsciously, forcibly forgets about it. So that way she doesn't have to deal with it at the moment. So we'll see.
All right,
well, predictions? Anyone else have predictions of what you think will happen?
I predict they're going to get closer. I also predict that I think the wolf might wind up taking the deer's role in the play. I think that's what it's leading up to. I don't think the deer is going to be able to actually finish the play.
That's a great prediction.
Yeah, because like we do see him injured.
Yeah, and you can tell the injury is taking a toll on him. So I think there's going to be something along the lines.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see Louis' fondness for Legoshi. So I think it's all going to come into play.
I agree. Well, this has been another review of Casa de Anime. Like and subscribe for weekly content, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks for watching.
Peace out, guys.